Arcangelo Corelli is one of the great-grandfathers of modern violin playing. He was one of the first composers to write for the violin as a solo instrument. He was born in 1652. It was during his time that the concerto grosso was born as a musical form. The concerto grosso features a small group of soloists playing alongside a full orchestra. Concerto grosso actually means large concerto. This form came from Corelli's exploration of contrast and timbre. The tone color of the large ensemble could be contrasted against the sound of the soloists. He wrote a series of sonatas and concertos that highlighted the soloistic potential of the instrument and opened doors for future composers. He was born in Bologna, Italy, during the Baroque period. He was a student of Giovanni Battista Bassani. He enjoyed a successful music career throughout Europe. He lived in palaces and worked for dukes and popes. His violin technique, which he passed on to his students Francesco Gimignani and Pietro Locatelli, among others, became a point of reference for nearly all Italian violinists of the next 150 years. That said, there are some curious accounts of some embarrassing musical experiences for Corelli. Norman Lebrecht writes of an event in which Corelli was invited to travel from Rome, where he was highly celebrated, to Naples and perform there for the king and for Alessandro Scarlatti, a pianist and composer who lived in Naples. The first piece Corelli performed was so poorly received by the king that he walked out of the room, much to Corelli's horror. Corelli then discovered that the court musicians in Naples were able to sight-read works that Corelli's musicians in Rome would need to practice extensively before performing. Corelli was then asked to perform a piece of the Neapolitan court's choosing. Corelli misread the key signature and played C major instead of C minor. Scarlatti politely corrected him once, but after starting again, Corelli repeated the error. After the second error, Scarlatti shouted out the correction in the middle of the entire court. Corelli's music rarely extends beyond third position for the violin. There's a story about Corelli working with George Friedrich Handel at the Rome premiere of one of Handel's oratorios, The Triumph of Time and Truth. Handel had written a part with a high A for the violin. Corelli refused to play the note. Corelli was seriously offended then when Handel, 32 years younger than Corelli, picked up a violin and demonstrated how it was to be played. Despite these low points, Corelli had a profound impact on the development of Baroque music and on string playing in general. When Corelli died in 1713, he had amassed quite a fortune, 120,000 marks, and a sizable collection of artworks. He left these to his benefactor, who was also a personal friend. His benefactor generously distributed that wealth back to Corelli's family. Corelli was buried in the Pantheon in Rome. That fact in itself indicates what an impact Corelli had during his lifetime. The Pantheon was originally built in AD 126 as a temple to the ancient Roman gods. Since the 1500s, the Pantheon has been used as a tomb. Corelli lies there in good company. Also buried at the Pantheon are two Italian kings, a queen, and the famous painters Carracci and Raphael.